G'day everybody, it is Matt from Stiller's Life here, and today I have got the Converse Chuck Taylor All-Star 70s in the black high tops to have a look at. Now these are one of the most popular shoes in the world, and so I'm keen to see what all the fuss is about. I've heard a lot of things about them being really comfortable. I've heard things like they're supportive. I've heard that they're really grippy. So I'm keen to give them a try and see if they're actually a really good option for traveling and that sort of thing. So let's whip these out of the box and have a look. So that is the Chuck Taylor 70s high top All-Star. Now, as you might have noted there, we have the Converse All-Star patch on the inside of the shoe, inside of your foot, not the outside. Just something to note there. Let's have a closer look at these. So these shoes were originally released way back in 1917 as a non-slip basketball shoe for Chuck Taylor. And so as a result, we have this rubber outsole which has stayed true for a very long time, and this iconic Converse look with a high top boot with laces going all the way up to really lock the ankle and foot in place. Now we have a textile canvas upper as well as lining, so all textile there, and that means it is quite soft. And so there's not much in the way of solid shoe here. There is a firm piece just in that back corner there around the ankle to give you a little bit of ankle support, but for the most part, it is a soft top shoe. And that makes it quite comfortable on because you don't have any rigid components anywhere. Down inside in the insole there, we have the Converse Ortholite insole, which is quite soft to touch. The tongue is also a canvas tongue, and of course our laces with these really nice sturdy metal eyelets. They're an iconic part of these shoes with that simple stitch detail around the edges. So looking at that outsole, the rubber does continue around the back where we've got that Converse All-Star emblem, and then also on the toe it goes over the top of the toe box. So it is quite rubberized and hard there to give you a little bit of toe protection. Being a canvas shoe, they should be quite breathable. There is also a couple of eyelets on the inside of the foot here around your arch that will give you a little bit more breathability there too. Now, being designed as a non-slip basketball shoe, this rubber sole we would expect to grip pretty well, and it really does. There is very little, if any, slippage to it at all. So let's actually put these on and have a look at how they feel on. So that is them, and they are quite a nice shoe underfoot. There is actually a ton of room in that toe box area and across the ball of the foot there. I can probably pull these laces in a hell of a lot more because these are really are quite a broad shoe. And you can see they're being this canvas style. There's tons and tons of flexibility to really adjust it to the shape of your foot and ankle and just lock yourself in. In terms of length, I find these are a really true to size fit. So I normally wear a US men's 11, and these are pretty accurate there with basically an index finger's room worth of space at the toe there. Now, they're quite soft underneath with that Ortholite sole, and it is kind of different to your typical shoe because while you are really locked into it, they're not going anywhere. Being just a canvas layer, they're surprisingly light and flexible to wear either with socks or barefoot, or in my case, I've got ankle socks on. And at the same time, they just feel like there's not much around your feet, which is a nice feeling, especially if you're someone that doesn't like the feeling of shoes. I honestly wasn't sure what to expect with these because I've never thought they looked particularly comfortable. But I got to tell you, I'm really shocked actually. While that rubber outsole is quite hard, the Ortholite insole is remarkably soft, and these do feel like they'd be pretty comfortable to walk around in that sense. I do think though that you would probably start to get quite sore standing on them all day long, and there's not really a lot of support for walking. It does feel good on though. So I think in terms of the shoe, just to give you a bit of protection without being heavy and without being chunky, that you can wear with a lot of different outfits, this is a pretty good one. I can really see why these shoes have become so popular with generations, really. They do feel like they breathe really well also. And I'm pleasantly surprised with just how they feel. I personally am not a fan of the way this soft ankle actually fits. I feel like the movement there is annoying. The way that it compresses and moves around my ankle, I would rather it didn't do that. And I definitely feel like this grip is fantastic. As far as being a non-slip shoe goes, these are well and truly locked in. They are not going anywhere. So these shoes are made in Vietnam, and there are no animal products in them as far as I'm aware. This badge here is advertised as being a faux leather, so man-made leather. And then of course, it's all textile and rubber. So that is the Converse Chuck Taylor All-Star 70 high top shoe in the black colorway. It's a surprisingly comfortable shoe that breathes really well and has tons of room for your foot on the inside. Being originally inspired by basketball, it does grip really well. And there is that throwback to basketball shoe styling in here. They're quite nice on. They definitely have plenty of flexibility, being that soft canvas. And surprisingly, there is a bit more support in there than I expected with the combination of laces, this firm rubber outsole, and that little bit of back ankle support around there. But definitely not a full-on supportive boot. It still gives you plenty of flexibility there with that. So I am pleasantly surprised with these. Would I wear them all day, every day? Probably not. I don't think they are suitable for that. There's not enough cushion for them to be an all-day shoe, but quite comfortable for getting around in for a shorter period of time. Definitely not a good travel shoe in my opinion. Between them being quite firm and not particularly supportive, as well as them being just straight canvas, there's very little protection from water and that sort of thing. So definitely not a great option for traveling and all day walking and being on your feet constantly, but surprisingly comfortable nevertheless, and a good option if you're wanting something that's lightweight and that will pack down really small as an extra shoe, because really these fold down to taking up basically just the size of the outsole. They're really remarkably small, because at the end of the day, they're just that layer of canvas. There's definitely some pros and cons to traveling in them. I don't think they're a great option for me, but I can definitely see that they could be a good pick for someone that has a broader foot, particularly around the ball of their foot, that likes a lot of breathability and flexibility, and that is not worried about whether the shoe is waterproof or whether it is fine for standing in all day long, walking all day long. If they're just looking for something that's comfortable to be on your feet for a little while and that packs down really small otherwise, then this is a pretty good option that does still give you a surprising amount of support while being just so flexible. So that's it. I hope you found this video helpful. Be sure to like it, and if you're looking at getting yourself a set of these, head down to the description and check out the affiliate links there. I really appreciate that. Otherwise, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this from me. Bye for now.